So yeah, I know it's been a while since I've done a tech review, but today we're gonna be reviewing this. This is the is it in frame? Jesus, I'm a terrible reviewer. This is the Corsair K60 RGB Pro SE keyboard, and I've had this for about 3-4 months, and honestly I don't regret my purchase. It's funny, if you asked me that at the beginning, I would have been like, I don't really know how I feel about it, but after having this for a few months, I've actually grown to love this thing. So I'm gonna start with my first impressions of it, then we'll get into some stats and pros and cons later on, and finally if I can recommend this keyboard or not. So timestamps will be in the comment section down below. Also, if we can get this video to, like, I don't know, between 5 and 10 likes, that'd be great. So go ahead, leave it a thumbs up. Actually, let's start with the price. This costs $99 on Amazon. I got it on sale for $79. And this is actually one of 4 keyboards in this K60 lineup. So let's start with the original. You have the original K60 that has no RGB, does not come with the wrist rest, and that is the cheapest. Then we have the K60 RGB, which is just this keyboard, but it has RGB capabilities and no wrist rest. Then you have this one, the K60 RGB Pro SE, which comes with RGB, a wrist rest. This is actually one of the only ones in the lineup to come with PBT double shot keycaps, meaning that the little legends here, they aren't printed on top of the keycap, they're actually printed within it. So no matter how long you use this, the little letters won't rub off the top of the keycaps, which is great. That saved me some money because honestly I was going to buy some pudding keycaps. And the last keyboard in this lineup is actually the K60 LP, which stands for low profile, and that one comes with the Cherry MX Silver speed switches, I believe, and that one is the most expensive at $110. So yeah, this one I think is the better option to go with because it has everything. Also, each of these keyboards, I think they're just like $10 more expensive than the last one. So yeah, that's the prices. So what does this keyboard have? Honestly, when it comes to the switches, these are actually some new switches. These are the Cherry Viola switches. And this is why the price is a bit lower. These are linear switches like the Cherry Reds, but they use less parts, so they're a bit cheaper to manufacture, which makes the keyboard itself a bit cheaper. So the first thing is these switches are not hot swappable. That's the first thing I see a lot of people asking about on Amazon. These keys are not hot swappable, so yeah, there's that. If one of your switches stops working, you're just gonna have to replace it with another Cherry Viola switch. You can't pop in some blues or reds here, or anything other than that. Also, it's gonna void the warranty if you do that, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't stop anyone from doing that. So the total travel distance for these switches is 4 millimeters, and the actuation point is 2 millimeters. So honestly, you don't need a whole lot of force, because you play a little bit of force in the key, it's already in. So the keyboard is relatively flat, and it's not that high. That's just kind of one of the things I love about this. It feels like a low profile keyboard, but it isn't. It's great because honestly, I love how low profile keyboards feel, but a lot of them don't really come with the best switches, or some of them are just membrane or whatever. So this to me is perfect. Kind of get the best of both worlds. And again, if you actually do want a low profile keyboard with some decent switches, there's a low profile variant of this one. But yeah, it's not that high off the ground. It does come with a brushed aluminum faceplate, which attracts dust like a magnet. I had a friend tell me about that. I didn't believe him. Now that I have one, I believe him. This thing gets dirty extremely quickly. This thing attracts dust like crazy, but it looks good. So it's it's a pro and a con at the same time. So brushed aluminum faceplate, and it is plastic at the back. It does come with some rubber grips at the bottom, and 2 feet that you can flip out for higher elevation. And what I do like is that at the bottom of the feet there are some rubber pads attached to those. A lot of companies, they have flip out feet, but they don't put rubber pads at the bottom, so the bottom of your keyboard is kind of stable, and then the top just kind of slides around a bit. So that's a nice touch that I like that they added. And at the bottom, if you can see, if I can get it in the frame here, you'll see 2 spaces. That's where the magnetic wrist rest goes. It feels great, and it looks even better. It's not super soft. It's firm, it feels nice, and the Corsair logo is right in the middle. Again, it looks great. This keyboard on a whole, I really love how it looks. Gotta be honest, I never really used a keyboard with a wrist rest. It wasn't a big thing, but now that I've been using this for the last couple months, after using this, yeah, every keyboard I'm gonna use after this, I want it to come with a wrist rest now. But yeah, in terms of the looks, again, why I went with this, apart from the brushed metal finish on top, it kind of has a nice the little K60 logo here in the bottom left corner. Also, the RGB light goes through that, which is pretty cool. And then you just have your light indicators for caps lock and number lock at the top right here, and then the nice Corsair sales logo at the top in black. The thing is, you can't really see it that well unless some light shines on it, but other than that, yeah, in terms of how this looks, I think they nailed it. This is perfect for me. Does not come with any dedicated media keys. That's gonna be an issue for some people. For me, honestly, I don't mind, because it just takes me 2 seconds to open my Spotify tab and hit next. So yeah, I know it's a convenience thing. Me personally, I don't care. So yeah, let's get into the experience of using this keyboard. We're gonna start off with gaming. But yeah, in terms of gaming, it's okay. It took me a while to get accustomed to how short the keystrokes are. But once I did, that's the one thing I will say about this keyboard. It is extremely satisfying to use. Now, in terms of typing, I think that's where this thing really shines. I fucking love typing on this keyboard. I hate typing emails. I really do. Again, I mostly use most of my keyboards for gaming anyway. Well, I love typing on this keyboard. I actually started looking for excuses to just type on this thing more. Those Apex guides, I normally write a script for those. If you play Apex Legends, you can check that card up there. I do Apex guides. They're pretty detailed. And those scripts are pretty long, and I normally type them out on my phone, but I downloaded a Notes app on my computer just so I can type using those keyboards, and I actually started writing out those videos a lot faster. Typing on this thing, it's just so satisfying. In terms of the keycaps, there's no texture on top, so they're pretty slidey. Some people like their keycaps to have texture and be a little bit grippy. I don't. I hate that. So these keys are great. Like, you know, my fingers just like, they'll just slide off a key, and I love that for typing. Plus the extremely short keystrokes. I find I type a lot faster on this keyboard than with some of my other keyboards. So in terms of the switches and how they sound, they're actually not that loud at all. I'll do a sound test after this segment so you can see how they sound. Well, so you can hear how they sound. But yeah, if you like blue or brown switches, you like to hear that clicky and tactile feedback, then this may not be for you. But if you like those red linear switches, then yes, this it feels pretty similar to those. So the overall experience using this thing, typing, it gets a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I love typing on this thing. If you like short keystrokes, then this is definitely for you. So again, I love using this thing. It's pretty great. In terms of cons and what I don't like, I would have to say it's 3 distinct things that I do not like about this keyboard. And the first one is going to be the RGB. But yeah, it's not as bright as I would have liked. In fact, the previous keyboard I had, I think the RGB was brighter on that. So the first thing is the RGB it has RGB, which is cool, but it's not as bright as I would like. I'll put it next to my SteelSeries mouse for comparison. You can just see how bright the lights are on that compared to this. The next thing is the colors themselves. I'm not sure if it's because these switches are white on the outside and not clear, but yeah, the colors tend to have like a very pastel look. If you know what pastel is, the best way I can describe it is it kind of has a very milky look to it. It doesn't look like a very pure dark red or blue or any of the colors you set. It kind of has like a very milky color look to it, so I don't like that. But again, it has RGB, which is it's okay. Yes, also this does work with the Corsair iCUE program, and if you have other Corsair products, then you can just kind of queue up all of those to run the same lighting effects at the same time. If for some reason you don't want to use the iCUE software, you can actually control the RGB from the keyboard itself. Just look at the instruction manual. The next thing is going to be the cable. That's the other thing I don't like about this. Again, 6-foot plastic cable. I would prefer to have either the cable be braided for this price point or a detachable cable. It doesn't have to be USB-C, it could be a micro USB. I would have been fine with that. And the last thing is going to be the top row of the the function keys. From F1 straight up to F12, there's no icons at the bottom telling you what those keys do. You can look at the instruction manual, they just don't have the icons on them, but the instructions, it tells you what pressing Fn plus one of these function keys above does. F10 to F12 is how you skip songs. Again, I said earlier it doesn't come with the media keys, but F10 to F12 is your media keys. So F11 is to play, F10 is to go back, F12 is to skip forward. Yeah, those are the only function keys I have memorized because I use those the most. But other than that, overall, I think this is a pretty great keyboard for the price point. But this feels pretty well built. Overall, I can 100% recommend this if you were looking to get this keyboard. Looks good, feels great, and then it's pretty good to type on. So yeah, that's the end of this review. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, again, leave a like, comment down below what do you think of this keyboard, and subscribe for more tech reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.